other, everything. And I'm like, we walking. At this point, we taking a walk. And I'm just like, man, what happened? What happened next, right? She goes back. She tells him the information she done found out. And he's just basically like, after you told me what you told me, what happened with the last guy, I wanted to do something special for you. I wanted to, be different and all of this stuff. She buys it. She buys it all. And he's like, I'm going to take care of all these bills. I'm just moving some money around, da-da-da, da-da-da. She gives him a pass. And maybe like a week later, she's arrested at her job. And I'm like, we walking. I'm like, her? You got arrested? And she's like, yeah, I got arrested at my job. And I'm like, what did you get arrested for? And she's like, this Negro, y'all know how I guess I'm not familiar how this piece of fraud works. Now, she was trying to tell me, but I had to do some research. I still don't know how it works. But I guess there's another number besides your social security number that you can use, but it's illegal to use it, but people be doing it and they be getting cars. So basically this dude did it and got a Hellcat. He gets the Hellcat and somehow he took the Hellcat that he got with the bad social security number, and he took everything off of the Hellcat, the engine, basically left the shell and put it all on a Hellcat that he bought that was broken. So basically you're left with the new car that's just a shell, and then you default on it, and then when they come and repossess it, they just repossess the car that's a shell or whatever. I don't know, something of that nature or whatever. It was basically considered fraud with the CPN. That's what it was called, a CPN, from using the CPN number. And since everything was in her name, he did it all over the internet. It seemed like she did it. So she was arrested at her job. You know what I'm saying? She literally had to repay all of that immediately or she was going to jail. She explained what happened, da-da-da-da-da. Dude, when I tell y'all, the bailiff is the grimiest dude in human history, because what he had did was, when she originally signed up with his company, those waiver sheets and all that stuff, she gave him authorization to do all this stuff on her credit. And somehow what was written in that language all basically pointed back to her. None of it pointed back to him. And I know what y'all thinking. They were married, da-da-da-da-da. Guess what? They were not married. So when they went to Vegas, they did the ceremony, and he went back there and came back with hey, I got the license, it's official. But all he did was pay for the ceremony. He didn't actually pay for the marriage license. So when he came back, all he had was a receipt. Child, listen. I was so taken back by the level of fraud and cunningness. So basically she was able to close all the cards, shut down the credit cards, but now she had all this debt. You know what I'm saying? She, stopped talking to the bailiff. And so we walking and talking or whatever. And she's just like, she's like, man, Tom, you're a real easy person to talk to. I'm glad, things is working out. And I'm glad you didn't want to see me the next day. I really need somebody in my life that, is a good person. Now in my head, I'm like, I know she don't think I'm about to be her dude. Because absolutely not. Now, y'all probably like, Tom, why? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell y'all, it's not none of the stuff that she told me, even though, that was way too much TMI or whatever. And the thing is, she actually texted me and encouraged me to do part 2. She wanted me to do this part 2 because she wanted me to tell y'all what actually happened, right? And so it wasn't that. And so she was one of them, I call them SMPBP. It's an acronym. Social media, play by play. Can't do them. Like after I looked at her social media and I looked back over all those relationships and stuff like that, even like stuff like, I just scrolled for a minute. Everything that happens to her in a relationship, she posts on social media. Everything. He makes me feel this way and he did this and we had sex for the first time. Like, she's a play-by-play social media person, and me personally, I cannot stand Men or women who do that. That's the weirdest thing in the world. Why do you feel like you need to let all these random people know about what's going on? I don't know. Like intimate details, like it was just interesting. We're still friends today. I could pick up the phone right now and call her right now. So I talked to her and we was just like, you got to start asking the right questions up front when you dating or getting to know somebody. You got to be able to vet them. You got to see what their answers are, their responses. You have to. And she's like, what answers? What? So I made this thing and I call it the list, right? And it's like a list of like 25, I think it's like 25 or 45 questions on there. And like literally over the dating process, because a lot of times you don't know what to say. And you don't know what kind of answers you need to hear. And then you don't know how to see those answers in action. Because a person could tell you anything, but you got to see those answers in action based upon what you asked them. So I created this list. It's actually link in the description if you want to get the list. You can just click the link in the description up top or whatever, and you can get it. But she did it, right? She got the list. She worked the list. She is now happily married with 2 children. She wanted to get married. And the thing is, what we need to understand is we pick badly, but who we are as organic people are just people who want to be in a relationship, people who want to be married, people who want to be in something solid. And somewhere along the line, we start vilifying people who want these things. Like we're calling women pick-me's because they want to get married. That doesn't make you a pick-me. I mean, that used to make you a good woman back in the day. That's weird to me, like that we now are vilifying people who actually are trying to be in a relationship. Now, the results of these relationships sometimes are ideal, but at the same time, it's like, who are we to judge? And that's what we got to stop doing. We got to stop judging. Give people the tools to be successful and see what happens. So she worked that list. She got married, had a couple kids, and she's happy right now. Like she came to one of my events maybe like a month ago or whatever with her husband. I put them up, got them some drinks or whatnot, and I'm happy for her. But I just see so many women, it's mostly women and men as well, but they organically, naturally are wives and husbands. But this world has so many people who that's not what they want. They end up playing with them. They end up using them. They end up abusing them. And so even when you look at the whole Reesa Teesa situation, you look at a woman who really wanted something special, who picked the wrong guy. You know what I'm saying? And we all do it. We all deserve grace. I hope my page is, yes, it's funny, it's silly, some of the stuff I go through, in dating, but I hope it's just a thing to keep trying. Like, don't give up. You will find your person. You definitely have to participate to actually win the game. So you can't sit on the sidelines and talk about everybody else trying when you're not doing nothing, or you picking just as bad and then you talking about what they doing wrong. So play the game. Hopefully it works out for you. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Once again, if you want to get the list, click the link in my description, and I will see you in the next one.